Hello everyone, DC Wood reviews the Arrowverse and we are now on The Flash Season 3. The Flash was renewed for its third season in March 2016. The show's ratings were starting to decline at this point, yet it still continued to be the CW's highest rated show, with an average of 3.5 million viewers continuing to tune in weekly. Season 3 premiered on the 4th of October 2016 and concluded on the 23rd of May 2017 after another 23 episodes. Season 2 concluded with Zoom finally being vanquished. But Barry Allen suffered too much in the conflict, with the tipping point being the death of his father, Henry. So the Flash did the unthinkable. He ran back in time and stopped the Reverse Flash from murdering his mother. Both Barry's parents are alive and free, and Barry is now in a new world, a new timeline, where he's happier than he's ever been. But in this new reality, this flashpoint, things are too good to be true. The Flash cannot escape the inevitable. Barry Allen must realise his mistake and undo what he has done. But if he does, what guarantees are there that things will go back to exactly as they were? So, in my original rankings, I'd placed The Flash Season 3 14th, very near the bottom, unlike Seasons 1 and 2, which are right at the top of my rankings. This is where The Flash started to go off the rails, and it's no longer the essential, unmatched superhero show that I absolutely loved. That's really annoying, because there are a lot of absolutely great moments in Season 3 that are some of the best in the show's history. One of the reasons why I fell in love with The Flash to begin with was the presentation, the cast, the high level of cinematic quality. You still get treated to that in Season 3. The cast continued to deliver. Blake Neely's score is as amazing as ever, and there's so much great characterization and development. We see Wally West finally take on the mantle of Kid Flash in Season 3. He gets a great character arc, and Keenan Lonsdale truly gets to shine here. As does Violet Bean as Jesse Chambers, who becomes Jesse Quick. Both the stories of Kid Flash and Jesse Quick are terrific in this season, and their relationship is explored so well. I love the costumes of both Kid Flash and Jesse Quick. They're awesome, and both Keenan and Violet are truly outstanding. Cisco also gets great character development here, as his powers are now in full swing, and he takes on the superhero identity of Vibe. He also gets a girlfriend in Gypsy from Earth 19, which is nice, and Cisco becomes an even more valuable member of Team Flash. Caitlin is another character who receives amazing development in Season 3. She receives superpowers and becomes Killer Frost, like her Earth 2 doppelganger. It's a tragic character arc for Caitlin, and one of the consequences of Season 3. And Danielle Panabaker, she gives the performance of her life here, alternating between the Caitlin Snow we love and the monstrous alter ego which threatens to overwhelm her. It's such great work from Danielle. Her work and Carlos's work are some of the highlights of Season 3. Tom Cavanaugh continues to show his supreme versatility on this show, not just as Harrison Wells, Harry from Earth 2, but also as H.R. Wells from Earth 19. This particular Wells is brilliant. He's so different than other incarnations for not being a scientific genius, but being a visionary with the gift of gab. HR is a great character, and I love his story in Season 3. Also, Matt Letcher is back as the Reverse Flash, which sets him up superbly for his starring role in Legends of Tomorrow Season 2. Episode-wise, there are some outstanding ones here, some of the best in The Flash. Killer Frost is an amazing episode which sees Caitlin truly succumb to her split personality and her powers. The Invasion crossover, which sees The Flash collaborate with Arrow, Supergirl and Legends of Tomorrow in what was the Arrowverse's biggest crossover at the time. It's amazing. 4 years on, Invasion is still a triumph in terms of writing, acting, music score and special effects. Invasion is brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And of course, there's the Attack on Gorilla City, Attack on Central City two-parter. It's another Gorilla Grodd outing. And I love these episodes so much, not just because of the amazing work the special effects team do in animating Grodd, but how the character is written as well. Grodd continues to be developed triumphantly here, and the way Gorilla City is animated, the amazing fight scene between the Flash and Solivar, the guerrilla invasion of Central City, the plot behind it all, it's a masterpiece, absolutely beautiful. Finally, the duet musical crossover with Supergirl. I was expecting to hate this episode, but I didn't. I know that this is such a Marmite episode for fans, but I loved it. It's easily in my top 10 episodes ever of The Flash. I love musicals when they're done properly, and this absolutely was. Grant Gustin's Flash and Melissa Benoist's Supergirl continue to have infectious chemistry, and their singing is absolutely beautiful. The story that forces them to sing is actually clever. There's a great team up between Kid Flash, Vibe and the Martian Manhunter. Who'd have thought it? This whole thing actually worked. It's just a shame that the season as a whole doesn't. As soon as I started watching season 3, I was really looking forward to more of the absolute perfection that I'd been spoilt with back in seasons 1 and 2. Again, though, you can't expect masterpieces to go on forever and forever, but it's still disappointing, and that's what the season premiere Flashpoint is. Now, the cliffhanger at the end of season 2 was such a shockingly good way to set the table for season 3, and Flashpoint is a good episode for exploring all the changes Barry's actions have made and setting the path for the rest of the season. But why it's ultimately disappointing is that Flashpoint only lasts one episode. It should have been at least a two-parter to properly explore the new timeline and further develop Barry before resetting things. The ramifications of Barry's actions are explored very well afterwards, particularly in the Invasion crossover. But the Flashpoint timeline itself is just so truncated. The fact that the showrunners confined so much potential to just one episode, it's a real missed opportunity. Then there's the tone of season 3 itself. In seasons 1 and 2, the show was overall much lighter and joyful, which is what made the show so refreshing and ultimately set it apart from the likes of Arrow. Here, The Flash takes a much darker and grim tone than it's ever been before or since, and it doesn't suit the show. I know that there have been times before in The Flash when the show has gone dark, but it never lost sight of its light. In season 3, it did. It becomes too depressing overall, and the change of direction doesn't benefit the show creatively. Pacing wise, The Flash season 3 collapses under its own weight, just like Arrow did for its 3rd and 4th seasons. The high consistency is gone, and the overall plot is spread way too thin over the 23 episodes. That's evident with Savitar, another speedster villain who serves as the big bad for a season of this show. At this point, the concept is just stale. The design of Savitar's armor is so cool, visually striking, and the villain has such presence on screen, but none of the richness and depth that Zoom or the Reverse Flash possess. And the mystery of Savitar's identity, it's dragged out for too long. when his identity is finally revealed, it's too late. People already had long guessed that Savitar was a disfigured time remnant of Barry, and the story doesn't have time to change gears because the season reaches its end shortly after. Speaking of which, the finale is terrible. I hated it. Savitar is overall a redundant antagonist, and season 3 would have been much better if Killer Frost had been the big bad, or Gorilla Grodd even, if the CW had had more budget to play with. Due to all the Savitar mess, Iris is reduced to being a plot device. Her character, her story in seasons 1 and 2 was so great, and yet here she's just reduced to being the damsel in distress that has to be saved before Savitar kills her. And Barry is also being written as being highly unlikable too often in season 3. Grant Gustin and Candice Patton are still perfect in their roles, and they do their absolute best with what they're given. It's just annoying that they weren't given the material they deserved this time around. Other things I didn't really like. Tom Felton as Julian Abbott. Oh, I didn't like the character at all. I thought Julian Abbott was terrible, waste of space. He may have proven to be a member of Team Flash, but he never felt part of the family at all. All due respect to Tom Felton, he did a very good job in his time of the show, but the character itself, just too antagonistic, too arrogant for his own liking. He was given a subplot with Caitlin that didn't really go anywhere, and when he didn't come back for season 4, I wasn't really fussed about it either. It was just a missed opportunity there, and I just feel like Julian Albert didn't give anything to the show. Finally, the cracks also start to show with the Flash's CGI here. There are many noticeable moments in this third season where the CGI doesn't look as cinematic, groundbreaking, and awe-inspiring as the previous seasons. Frankly, there are times where it looks rushed, and then you realise that they save budget as much as possible to bring to life the glorious stuff that we get in Killer Frost, Invasion, the Gorilla City two-parter, and Duet. The show became too ambitious here. The Flash Season 3 is the worst season in the show's history for me. Seasons 4 and 5 aren't that much better, but they're still better. It's frustrating, not just because the first 2 seasons were so epic, but because there's some significant stuff to be found in season 3 that's absolutely brilliant. Some rich characterization for the supporting cast and some absolutely amazing episodes. What a shame it is then that repetition, a disjointed story, gross inconsistency, Savitar, and a grim, miserable tone really let things down here. Overall rating, 5 out of 10. Please let me know what you guys think of The Flash Season 3. Thank you for subscribing. Please continue to like and subscribe. Next episode, I'm going to be reviewing Arrow Season 5, and I also have plans for a special review of Crisis on Infinite Earths on DVD. See you again, everyone. Stay safe. Bye-bye.